Yankees starting pitcher Marcus Stroman was not happy at all with Gleyber Torres. He was yelling at him on the field, in the dugout, but did it wake up the Yankees? We'll talk about that in a second. The Guardians pitching staff is looking like a travel ball team facing adults. Things could get very bad for the Guardians if they don't sign a pitcher or make a trade. The Phillies, they're looking fantastic on the pitching front. Their number 4 starter turned in one of the best starts of anyone this year. And the Mets, they held a concert for their own player, Jose Iglesias, who apparently is now a musician and a baseball player. He has a new hit single, OMG. They played it on every single home run that they hit yesterday. We're going to talk about all of that and more in today's MLB Recap. And don't forget, Recap is presented by SeatGeek. Use code Fuzzy to save 20 bucks off all of your tickets. And if you like daily fantasy sports, be sure to download Underdog Fantasy using my code Fuzzy. They'll give you a $250 bonus cash credit. And if you sign up with my code, they'll give you this Paul Skeens special where every strikeout he gets, they'll give away $1,000. You're welcome. All right, so we're actually going to skip to the 5th inning of this Dodgers and Giants game where Luis Matos, he put a charge into this 93-mile-per-hour fastball off of Landon Knack, who was actually shredding through the first half of this game. Oh, man, another big-time loss for the San Francisco baseball community. This time, it's Orlando Cepeda. They called him the Baby Bull. He won NL MVP in 1967. In 1961, he popped off for 46 home runs and 142 RBIs. Just incredibly sad news between him and Willie Mays. Now, back to the game. Matt Chapman, he answered the call. He pummeled a long 2-run home run. And Matt Chapman, when he gets hot, I don't think there's a better third baseman in baseball. But again, he can't find consistency ever. He goes crazy, and then he craters back down to earth. Logan Webb, he locked in on the bump. He turned a double play. Then he struck out Kevin Biggio to end his night. He had 6 strikeouts over 7 innings. The Giants, they're up by 1 when Elliot Ramos, who is one of my favorite young players in baseball, he missed a catch, and Pages, he made it all the way to third base. So this Hayward fly ball is now a game-time sac fly, but it ain't tied no more. Brett Wisely, he has such a pretty swing. I like his game a lot. He's hitting over 300, and he has a 131 OPS plus in 32 games. I don't know if that's going to stick, but Brett Wisely, he can swing it. Just when you thought the walk-offs were done, we may or may not have another. Logan Gilbert and Bailey Ober, they were so sick yesterday. Gilbert, he struck out Correa early, and both guys, they both threw 4 scoreless. Bailey Ober, he got hosed by his catcher. I mean, it's easier said than done to make this play at home, but Vasquez, he has to make that play. Mitch was out by 5 steps, but again, Vasquez missed it, and Josh Rojas, he gets the RBI. Carlos Correa, he stepped in again, and this time his team is losing. So what is one of the most clutch hitters in baseball going to do about that? He's going to do that. Just an absolute moonshot. That ball was in the air forever. He's hitting .435 over his last 20 games. I'm happy that his wrist is healthy. He's not going to go on the IL. He's good. Chef Bailey Ober was cooking on the mound. He struck out his 8th batter, then his 9th. The ball got past Vasquez, but it was a Christmas hop right back to him. He made up for it. Bailey Ober now has 27 strikeouts over his last 21, just 4 earned runs allowed over his last 3 starts. J-Rod, he kind of took over the game for a little bit. He soared in from center to make a sliding grab, and now he's up to hit. He ties it, no thanks to him. Carlos Santana could not pick the bad throw, and then he kind of lost it. So it was in his glove and then out. The game is now tied at 2 runs apiece, and that only delayed the inevitable because Cal Raleigh, he walked it off again. That's his 4th career walk-off, his 2nd this year. The throw from Cole Sands wasn't even close. It was a nice play to stop it, but ball game. All right, I'm pretty sure that we have all of the walk-offs out the way now. Let's show some of the routes and games that weren't very close. The Yankees won a ball game. Jesus is coming back. Okay, obviously I'm joking around, but the Yankees, they always start off hot, then they slip up, and then they bounce back to win 97 plus 100 plus games. It's going to happen again. We're going to fast forward to the 5th. Marcus Stroman, he's not happy that Gleyber Torres could not get there and maybe try for first base. He's yelling, and then he's not done yelling at Gleyber. Vladdy, he put the Blue Jays up by 1 after beating out a double play, and honestly, it kind of looked like Gleyber was playing in slow motion. Stroman, he's heated, he's screaming, throw the effing ball, bro, and he was not done screaming. He goes into the dugout, he yells, show some effing intensity. I mean, I agree with him. The Yankees, considering how bad they've been over the last few weeks, you got to show some heart, and luckily for the Yankees, Marcus Stroman brought it out of them. Aaron Judge had a talk with Stroman, probably about how he can't show up teammates or something like that, but I mean, it worked. New York went off for 15 runs after that show of emotion. Juan Soto, he ripped an absolute mammoth 3-run home run. He went lefty-lefty versus Yusei. J.D. Davis, attaboy, he had a terrible, awful, no-good debut in his first game with the Yankees. He doubles in Aaron Judge. And don't forget, Yu Darvish once upon a time said that J.D. Davis was the hardest out in baseball. Gleyber, welcome back, buddy. The call-out in the last recap, in addition to Marcus Stroman yelling at him and showing him up, it seemed like it worked. And good for Marcus Stroman. He realized he probably shouldn't have done that on the field in front of all of the cameras. He was the first guy out the dugout to hug and celebrate with Gleyber Torres. That fired me up. I love when people get passionate about baseball. More of that. Wait, real quick, I do got to show off this Blue Jays home run. That is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who you could make an argument is having a better offensive season than Anthony Volpe, which is wild to say out loud. Vladdy, he smoked one the other way. Haircut Vladdy has 5 home runs in his last 7 games. Here's DJ. Mr. LeMahieu had his... That's his first extra base hit of the year. He scores Verdugo. Judge, he grabbed a few RBIs on a single. He has 79 RBIs on the year. He's batting .390 with 24 home runs and 60 RBIs over his last 47 games. Just road to the show numbers. You guys get the vibes. New York, they kept teeing off. They ended up with a fat 16 spot just 24 hours after they lost by 7. I know Judge probably said we can't show up our teammates, but I agree with Marcus Stroman and having to show the intensity. And they did show that. So this next blowout is coming at my expense. My happiness has been waning over the last few days. Listen, I love this Guardians team, but the pitching, it's been brutal. J-Ram, cool, 22 home runs now on the season, but that seemed to anger the Royals, or maybe Tristan McKenzie just has to get surgery already because he's pitching with a partially torn UCL. Salvi, he went yard 450 feet. That should have counted as 2 runs. Hunter Renfroe, I have no idea how he hit that out, but he goes back-to-back. Vinny Pasquantino and Perez, they clutched up. They added 2 more runs on 2 singles. The Royals offense might finally be waking up, and if it came at the expense of my happiness, I'm going to be really upset. But Tristan, he now has a 5 ERA. He's one of 3 starters in the rotation with a 5 or worse ERA. The Cleveland staff is painfully thin. Isbell, he wanted it in on the home run actions. So Kyle Isbell now has 6 home runs. That is a career best for him. And I don't know who this Darren McCoffin, whatever his name is, he's allowed 9 walks and 14 runs in 10 innings this year for the Guardians. That's a wild pitch, followed by a 2-run jack from the Sasquatch. Vinny Pasquantino had 0 RBIs in his first 10 games. He has 53 RBIs and 32 extra base hits over his last 67 games. Insane. The Guardians, they've lost 3 in a row. The Royals have won 3 in a row, but thank goodness 7 games still separate first and second place. Xander, he's back in Boston, but he's not playing because he's on the shelf, so he's not going to play in front of his former fan base. Nick Pivetta, he was fantastic through 4. The operative words, through 4. Kyle Higashioka, his 8th home run of June. Pivetta, he kept on imploding. He leaves after loading the bases, and Greg Weissler, he cannot put out the fire. Cronenworth, he drove one the other way for 2 RBIs. Donnie Barrels, Donovan Solano, same thing. He's been so money for the Padres. He grabbed 2 RBIs as well. He's almost hitting .290 with a 120 OPS plus on the season. Are we looking at the 2024 NL Rookie of the Year? Jackson Merrill has 11 home runs, 40 RBIs, 9 stolen bases, 3 outs above average, a cannon for an arm. It's crazy how the Padres can turn super shortstop prospects into elite outfielders. Devers, I do want to show this. 440 feet for his 17th home run. But that basically sums this game up. The Padres, they've won 4 games in a row. Now imagine if they keep this up and Tatis comes back 100% healthy. They're going to be good. The only other team with a better win streak is the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Luis Rengifo, is he going to be an all-star? I feel like he has to be. Back-to-back games with a home run. And I forgot to mention that Zach Plesac, he was on the bump. His arm completely fell off in the 3rd inning. He walked 2 straight guys after a single, so the bases are loaded. That is a 4-pitch walk for a bases-loaded walk. Matt Vierling, he's handed a free RBI. Make it 4 consecutive walks. Plesac, he's out the game. He's beside himself. He's kind of hiding in the dugout. But LA, they do get out of the jam, and skipping to the 8th, Logan O'Hoppe, he went way gone. This guy rakes for a catcher. That's his 11th of the year, and dating back to last year, over 120 games, he has 25 home runs, which is insane for a 24-year-old catcher. Carlos Estevez now has 16 saves. The Angels, they've won 5 in a row. Evil twin of the Angels, Texas, they've done the exact opposite the last 5 games. They've now lost 5 in a row. At least Mad Max made some history. Scherzer, he passes Greg Maddux for sole possession of 11th all-time in career strikeouts. Gunnar Henderson, he's been on base 35 games in a row. He did that with a walk. And here we go, some scoring. One of the weirder swings because it 100% looked like he got fooled. That's Colton Cowser, by the way, but it was down the middle, so he just muscled it out. Colton Cowser now has 12 home runs, and listen to this. Baltimore is on pace to tie history. They have 7 guys on pace for 20-plus home runs and a 120 OPS plus. That would tie the 2019 Astros for the most 20 home run, 120 OPS plus hitters in one lineup. 7? That's insane. Henderson's at it again. That is a line drive to plate Jorge Mateo. Baltimore, they get a huge second run. Albert Suarez, he's been so sick on the bump. He's basically saved saved the Orioles staff, just like Ben Lively has saved the Cleveland pitching staff. Albert Suarez went 6 shutout. He now has a 2.4 ERA on the season, only 2 strikeouts, but again, 6 scoreless is 6 scoreless. Tavares, he's up now. The bases are loaded. He got walked. It's a 2-1 game. Simeon's at the dish. Ramon Urias, he snagged it for the final out. Kimbrel, nice job. He goes 1-2-3 for his 18th save. He reties Kenley Jansen for the active lead. They both have 435 career saves. Okay, I lied a little bit earlier. The Angels aren't the only team with 5 wins in a row. Milwaukee, they bounced back from an early 2-0 hole, so Seiya, he's been unreal lately. 14 extra base hits and 15 RBIs with a 940 OPS the last month. Dansby, he drove in that second run. Milwaukee got their golden chance. The bases are full. Their 20-year-old super prospect can have his biggest moment, and he did not shy away from it. There it goes. Ian Happ, he missed the jumping catch by an inch or two, and I actually think that he catches it if he didn't mistime the jump. He jumped way too early, so that's back-to-back games with a home run for the 20-year-old. He has 4 home runs and 16 RBIs while hitting .330 since June 2nd. Chicago's base running bit them again. I think they lead the league in most outs on the bases, which is that a manager thing or what? In steps the 6'8" flamethrower Trevor McGill. He has 17 saves on the season. No strikeouts in this save, but he has a 1.7 ERA. Milwaukee, they've won 5 in a row. They have the 3rd best bullpen ERA in baseball and the 10th best offense in terms of OPS. They're very, very good. Here we go, a battle of some of the hottest teams in baseball. Houston has been winning everything, and same for the Mets. They're going for their 4th win in a row, and this is after they had their streak snapped, but now they're back on another hot streak. Altuve has 13 home runs on the year. The Astros, they actually went up 2-1 after the first 3.5 innings when Tyrone Taylor, he blasted off. You can see that Sevi, he's holding up an OMG sign. That's for his teammate Jose Iglesias, who just released a new song called OMG. That's their brand new home run celebration song, and they're going to play it again because Pete, he has 17 home runs on the season. He's screaming, "Let's get Froyo," after hitting that, definitely not saying anything else. So that's $17,000 to animal shelters, courtesy of Pete Alonso's home runs. Oh no, this is bad. Bregman, he booted out number 3, and Ronel Blanco, he was trying his best to go 6, but you can't give big league hitters extra outs. Even someone like Jeff McNeil, who's been awful this year, one of the lowest launch angle home runs I've seen in a long time. Play Jose's song again. Lindor, he joined in on the RBI party. He sent a ringing double to score McNeil, and for the first time in a long time, the Mets are officially over to 500. They're 16-4 over their last 20, and then after the game, they had a concert for Jose Iglesias to debut his brand new song. This team has all the vibes going for them right now. The Mets could actually leapfrog the Cardinals for the final wildcard spot or be tied with them, I can't remember, but St. Louis, they made sure that that did not happen. This was the only run for either team, and I'm actually shocked that Ellie did not make the play. It looked like he threw it 135 miles an hour with ease, but the throw, I think it hit the runner, Michael Ciani, so that's the ball game. Frankie Montas, he's handed a tough loss. Ellie, he had a chance to make up for it, but instead, Palante, he cracked his bat with the bases loaded. Palante struck out 5 over 5 1/3, but again, he's out after 5 1/3. Santiago Espinal nearly ruined his gem, but Brendan Donovan, the left fielder, he made a nice web gem over there to rob Espinal of a game-tying double. Alec Burleson is awful. He was like 4 feet away from that fly ball. He had to belly flop. Now, he does get the out, so I will tip my cap, but I mean, he made the catch. I can't really say anything. Ryan Helsley, he got the final 3 outs on 6 pitches, and look who made another leaping play. Brendan Donovan, I don't know if that would have been a game-tying home run, but he does make the grab. That's save number 29 for Ryan Helsley. I want him to go for 60. That would be so sick. We have 2 shutouts in a row, and I'm telling you guys, this Phillies rotation is setting up to be all-time nasty. I'm going to show this real quick. Bryson Stott, he beat out a double play, so that's an RBI, and that's the game. Christopher Sanchez, he struck out the side in the 6th inning. That's 6 scoreless. He wants a career high, though, and he gets it. His 8th strikeout gets him through 8 shutout frames. Johan Rojas was sent down a few days ago, and he showed off the insane hustle. He does not want to go back down. He turned on the Jets. He turns a single into a double. He then gets to third base on a wild pitch, and Stott, he skies went to left field, so that is an insurance run, and Sanchez is out for the 9th inning. The first 2 outs were really easy, and this is how you finish off a complete game shutout. The crowd is standing, they're going crazy, and now it's over. His 9th strikeout ends it. He missed a Maddox by 2 pitches. He goes 9 shutout on 9 strikeouts, just 3 base hits. He owns a dazzling 2.4 ERA on the year, but a 2.1 ERA over his last 84 innings. When you can go Wheeler, Nola, Suarez, Sanchez, and maybe a Turnbull or a Walker with that lineup, I know they don't have Bryce Harper or Schwarber. They're both on the IL, but that's a nasty team. Oh my sweet baby Jesus. Jose theory, he has the most fun hitting baseballs of anyone in baseball, mostly because like when he does make rare contact, it's usually hit 410 plus feet. There's history. Yandy Diaz, he officially owns the longest hit streak in Tampa Bay Rays history. He passes Jason Bartlett with a 20-game hit streak. Nothing came of it, but we have liftoff again. Jose Siri, he was offended that he only hit the first one 405 feet. He went to dead center. His second home run went 430 feet. He really is the best bat hitter or the worst best hitter like in all of Major League Baseball history. We head to the ninth. Washington, they did scrape one across on a Tampa error, but the Tampa defense clutched up when they needed to in the final frame. Johnny DeLuca, he uses his top 2% sprint speed to rob Eddie Rosario. Pete Fairbanks, he has 13 saves. As Tampa, they're back to 500. They're 41-41. By the way, tip of the cap to Zach Eflin. He had 6 punch-outs over 6 shutout. His ERA is finally back under 4. He only had 1 walk. That's the key. Staying with 6, Atlanta scored 6 as they beat the Pirates. Austin Riley, ladies and gentlemen, he is heating up right before our very own eyes. That's his 9th home run, but 6 of them have come over the last 2 weeks. He's hitting .390 with an insane .465 on base since June 14th. Ohtani, he's going to have to really turn on the turbos in terms of the RBI stuff, because if he wants to win the Triple Crown, he's going to have to try and catch up to Marcell Ozuna, who just does not miss. He has 67 RBIs on the season, but with runners in scoring position, he has a 1058 OPS. Matt Olson, he blistered one over O'Neal Cruz, which is not easy, but he did. And this is not the best if you're a Pirates fan. Nick Gonzalez, he kind of pulled a Glaber. He floated a ball over to first. Riley, the call is overturned, so he's now safe. Riley scored on a Duvall double down the line, and yeah, this game's over. Charlie Morton, he diced up the Pirates for 7 strikeouts over 6 scoreless. And before we talk about some history that he made, Brian Reynolds, he gets the job done. That is a 24-game hit streak. He did it with his final at bat. Okay, back to Charlie Morton. After Bummer ended things, the game is over and Charlie got the W. He became the 22nd pitcher ever to have a W against every team in Major League Baseball. That's wild. You guys might hate me for this, but I'm going to trim some fat in this game and skip all the way to the 6th inning of this A's and Diamondbacks game. Lourdes, he connected for a prodigious 425-foot moonshot, and Ketel Marte, his single, put his team up a run. Things are looking really good. They're winning. You bring in Ryan Thompson and his sub-2 ERA. I guess Soderstrom did not really mind facing a guy with a sub-2 ERA. He goes the other way. He's got popped for days. That's his 7th home run. Zach Geloff, he split the gap right down the middle. Oakland, they reclaimed the lead on a triple. Geloff, he scores Armando Alvarez, and that was right before Brent Rooker. My God, to the batter's eye in center field, 437 feet for his 15th home run. Then they go back-to-back. Shea Bangaliers, he also has 15 home runs as well. Oakland, they are 7th in baseball in home runs. They just kind of stink at taking walks as a team. Daz Cameron, he belted one last home run for the A's, and they jumped the Arizona Diamondbacks bullpen for an unexpected comeback. Again, if the A's start taking walks, that offense is going to be a problem. More home runs in this game. The Rockies actually scored every single run of theirs on a home run. Let's see if they won the game. Nicky Lopez, he gave his pitcher Drew Thorpe a lead to work with. That's an RBI single. Drew Thorpe was sharp on the bump. He had 4 strikeouts through 3. I think he struck out the side in the 3rd inning. Kind of reminds me of Shane Bieber. He's not going to light up the radar with 98 and 99, but he does hit his spot, and he's got some nasty off-speed stuff. Rookie went 5 shutout, but he had a walk in the 6th inning, and Brenton Doyle, man, he put his team up 1. 430 feet. Hello. Brenton Doyle has 7 home runs, 19 stolen bases, and 7 outs above average. The dude has some crazy raw talent. But Paul DeJong, he storms back. He ties it. Thorpe, he's no longer in line for the loss, and actually, he's back in line for the W. Corey Lee's ground out put the Sox up by 1, and after a pinch hit intentional walk, Tommy Pham, he broke it open. He grounded it through the second base hole, and that is a 2 RBI knock. Chicago gives Drew Thorpe his 2nd career W, not before Michael Toglia hit the power button again. He has 5 home runs in the month of June. That ball went 430 feet. Michael Kopech threw a 98 fastball inside to Brendan Rodgers. He jammed himself. That is a double play, and then Nicky Lopez, he chopped it out for the final out. The White Sox, they win 5-3 over the World Series favorite Rockies. Sorry, that was mean. All right, everyone, that does it for today's recap. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to say thank you one more time. Enjoy the rest of your day, and enjoy the Web Gems.
Ahmed will spin and throw, and ground ball. Guillorme makes a play from his knee. Got it!
Catcher Maley, little dribbler hit toward 3rd. Arenado bare hand. Throws to first, a gorgeous.
Smith sends a high fly ball to the right toward the wall. Santander waiting, jumping into their identity this year. In the air to right, and a diving catch from this game.
Bregman lines it toward left center, moving over for now, moving back. Bader has 2.